talking about how women will reinvent the workplace and really about how women should be working together, I'm going to first talk about men and how great they are at helping each other and the lessons learned. So I'm going to tell a story that was told to me by my business mentor and great friend, Wick Allison, and it was told to him by John Stemmons. It's a little name dropping if you're a Dallasite in our city. But in 1933, Texas wanted to hold a festival, a year-long celebration of the 100 years of having won our independence from Mexico. And it was going to be a year-long festival to take place in 1936, the 100th anniversary. And there were 3 cities that were interested in hosting this: Dallas, Houston, San Antonio. And in Dallas, we were the underdogs in this fight. And R.L. Thornton, a prominent banker here in town, went to 2 other bankers in town, and they were not friends. There was no love lost between these 3 bankers. They were competitors, and Dallas was a relatively new town, and there were not a lot of people to go after for their banking business. So R.L. Thornton said, listen, we need this thing. We need it because I'm so tired of fighting over a piece of the pie. We need to make the pie bigger. And he said, I've got to get some men in a room in this town, and they need to be prominent businessmen and yes men, men that don't have to answer to their mama. And we need to come up with a solution and a way to argue our case so that we can bring the most important, significant thing that's going to happen and put the city that wins this on the map in America. So he gathers these men, these yes men, in a room. And after a few days, they come up with a solution. A few weeks after that, R.L. Thornton is our representative to pitch Dallas. But first, San Antonio gets up to the Texas Site Commission, that is the governing body to determine who's going to win this. And San Antonio gets up there. And you're the representative of San Antonio, where the war took place. Remember the Alamo? And they give this passionate appeal to why it should be hosted in the city where everything took place. And apparently there was not a dry eye in the entire room. John Stemmons, our own John Stemmons, said tears were flowing down his face. He was pretty sure he knew what was going to happen. Then Houston gets up. And Jesse Jones is representing Houston. And he says we should not be having a discussion about where wars were fought and almost lost. We should be showing off to the world how amazing Texas is. And look at Houston, Texas. We are railroads and we are oil. Do I need to say more? If I haven't said enough to show our interest in this and our commitment to making this amazing, Houston's giving you a check for $500,000. All right, do y'all know how much $500,000 was in 1934? It was a lot of money. So now Dallas is up to the plate, and R.L. Thornton steps up and he said, listen, Dallas doesn't give a damn about the past. We don't care. All we care about is the future. Here's our check for $10 million. Take it or leave it. You have 5 minutes to make up your mind, or the offer's off the table. And that's how Dallas was put on the map and had a year-long celebration that is arguably the most significant Texas event in the 20th century. With that story, and mind you, my business mentor and friend, Wick, has shared with me so many stories. He's 6 generations of a Dallasite. He knows how this city was built. And every single one of those stories involves a group of men that would listen to a good idea from another man and they would catapult some 22-year-old out of school, their career 15 years ahead by propping him up instantly. Jim, you have a bank, give this boy a loan, and you own the telephone company, he needs phones. Somebody have access to a car and some drivers and people that he needs for his idea and his business. And it happened like this. To this day, we are on the map in America for being one of the most entrepreneurial, spirited cities. And this is the place where business happens. And it's because of the generosity of men helping men selfishly. No Freudian slip intended. With that being said, I've experienced as a female business leader over time, many years, that in doing business with women, there was oftentimes something that was happening in the business transaction that kept the process very long and arduous, and nothing happened quickly. And it wasn't always, but I would say majority of the time. And I wondered over years, and a lot of my speculation was harbored in thinking that it was a negative aspect to women's nature, that if I'm a woman at the top of my game, that I am not interested in helping another woman catapult quickly ahead because I had so many blood, sweat, and tears, and by God, you're not going to skip ahead and have it easy because this path is not easy. You need to learn a lesson. And then I started realizing that I actually think that a lot of our beautiful female attributes, being nurturing and empathetic, protective, we're intuitive. And I started thinking maybe there's something to women protecting other women. If you don't go through those blood, sweat, and tears, I'm setting you up for failure. You have to do this because I don't want you to fail on the other side of this, and I don't want to be responsible for your tears on the way out the door. I think that we're using our own beautiful benefits that we can give to other people as a crutch for not helping and pushing women forward faster. So I'm proposing a new kind of network, and a network that would involve women incubating ideas from other women and fast-tracking them to success. I think that if we have what I call a tree, and I base that off of having grown up in a small town in the Midwest, and anything that happened in the town, this was before cell phones, mind you, that anything that happens, everything was through the church phone tree or the school phone tree to alert you of death or ice storms. And it was very effective, and it was quick. And I thought if we had a women organization where I do not want to attend another cocktail party, I don't have time, I don't want to sit around and really get too involved in what the details of everybody else's business. I just want to know that I can call you and say, hey, you own the phone company, here's somebody with a great idea, they need some phones, and that I have yes women that can put it in action without a committee or having to answer to their CEO, mama. And I've realized that some of my greatest lessons in this actually working beautifully is with my children, my 8-year-old triplets, Ava, Vaughan, and Cole up there. And their day-to-day interaction, and they will celebrate each other in these beautiful ways, each other's interests, and they will shove ahead and say, Mama, did you see what Cole just did? And I realize that it's because Ava is operating fearlessly. She's not concerned that she is putting somebody in front of her because I will love him better, or that she gets fired in the real world. She doesn't lose by pushing her brothers ahead of her. Her brothers celebrate her as well and tell me, Ava just did something remarkable. Come here and look at her. And it's fearless. And it's beautiful, and it speaks to our nature. And I think that in those lessons, for us as women, if we can incorporate that beautiful nature of helping and pushing ahead women with great ideas and fast track them and do the fearless thing of pushing them ahead in their career or even past our own, let them shine, We are the future for what we can build in this city and promote business and set an example for the rest of the world. We need to be yes women. Thank you.